Hey y'all, it's none other than who? Cooking with Tammy, and I'm back with another video. Today we are going to be making Cajun chicken potato skillet. For all of my people out there who may not be able to eat seafood, this is going to be definitely the perfect recipe for you. And even if you're able to eat seafood, guess what? This is just an extra bonus. Let's get this recipe popping. First things first, I got my chicken tenders laid out. They are clean and ready to go. Yes, I washed it off in a little salt water, took it out, pat it dry with a couple paper towels, and here we are. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my little barbecue brush and I'm gonna spread a little oil onto the chicken tenders just like that. Why am I adding the oil? Because it makes it easier to spread the dry rub. Also, we're going to hit it off with a little Cajun seasoning first. Make sure every piece of chicken is well covered because guess what? We want seasoned from beginning to end. And we're also going to go in with a little smoked paprika just like that. Make sure you add it. If you don't have smoked paprika, of course, you can use regular paprika. That's not a problem. You can use your hands, but if not, you can use your brush. Since it's already messy, might as well. Use your brush, spread that seasoning all throughout the chicken. Make sure it's well coated. Flip them bad boys over. Repeat the same process, add some oil, as well as Cajun seasoning and smoked paprika. Make sure every piece of chicken is well coated. Massage it in there really well. And I could have worked in the potatoes first because potatoes obviously is part of the skillet, but I'm not going to do the potatoes just yet. The reason why we season the chicken first is because I want to get a little marination in here. I want it to marinate for at least maybe about 5 to 15 minutes just so the seasonings could soak in. And like I said, I'm using tenders, but if you don't have tenders, you can always get some chicken breast pieces and just slice it up and it's going to be perfect as well. Moving right along to our potatoes. Using a sharp knife, of course, we're going to take our potatoes, and these potatoes are washed because we're cooking it with the skin on, just to let you know. And we're going to cut it down the middle just like that, and we're going to cut it into 4s. If you're working with bigger potatoes, no fret, no fuss, no worry. Cut it into 6 pieces. And if you're working with baby potatoes, just cut it down the middle and that would be perfect. Potatoes are ready and good to go. And we're going to drizzle a little oil onto the potatoes. If you have olive oil, use olive oil. If you don't have olive oil, use canola, vegetable. Really doesn't matter. We're going to hit it off with a couple pinches of kosher salt. Ain't got kosher? Use regular. As well as some ground black pepper. I am using table grind pepper, which I find to have more texture. Yes, it's all peppercorn, but it does have more texture because it's not as grinded as the ground black pepper. So I'm using a combination because when you bite into these potatoes, you want that little kick of that, you want to taste the pepper in there. We're going to use our trusty hands and we're going to mix it all up. Make sure the oil as well as the salt and pepper is coated on every single piece of potato. Once we're finished, we're going to get our cast iron skillet nice and hot. We're going to add a drizzle of oil and we are going to add these potatoes into this pan and let it do what it do. We're going to allow the potatoes to sit in the pan for a couple minutes, maybe about 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how high the heat is. We're going to allow those potatoes to toast up just a bit. We don't want it too charred, but we do want like the roasted potato effect. And we're going to turn it over periodically, allow the skin to roast as well, just like that. And this is what it looks like after about 6 minutes. At this point in time, our potatoes are charred perfectly, but it's still a little firm. The texture is not where I want it just yet. So I'm gonna show you a quick tip and trick to get you out of this kitchen in a matter of seconds, all right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna add some water to the perimeter of the pan. And what we're doing is we're creating a steam effect, and that's gonna soften up the potatoes. We're gonna cover it down and allow it to do its thing until the water dries out, and bam, I promise you your potatoes are gonna be perfect. We're gonna take the potatoes out, put it into a separate bowl, and set it aside. Total cooking time on the potatoes was about 15 minutes. We're making compound butter. Yes, we are chefs up in this building. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some fresh garlic. We're gonna mince it up really good. Chop, 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 chop it up. add it to a separate container. And we're gonna also add some butter to a separate little dish, just like that. And we are gonna add our garlic. And we're gonna add some salt to the butter. And last but not least, we're also gonna add some Italian seasoning. Combine it really, really well. And off to the side you go, just like that. We're gonna be using the same skillet because this is a 30-minute meal. We're not messing up a bunch of dishes. We're gonna add a couple tablespoons of butter. And we're gonna lay our chicken down flat into the pan. We're not gonna overcrowd the pan. We wanna sear our chicken pieces perfectly. How long, Tammy, on the cooking time? We are gonna cook these chicken pieces for about, honestly, these are chicken tenders and they're pretty thin, they're not thick. We're probably gonna cook it for about, I would honestly say about 4 minutes on each side. If you're using chicken breast, you might need maybe about 5 to 7 or 5 to 8 minutes. Of course, you're gonna check periodically, and at this point in time, my flame is on medium high. Don't be afraid. If you gotta go in there and lower the flame a little bit in order to control the situation, please do so. Look at how beautiful our chicken is, just sitting in this beautiful butter and just doing its thing, right? It looks absolutely gorgeous. We're gonna flip it over, and yes, we have the perfect sear. It is beautiful. Flip it over, and everything looks absolutely amazing, and it smells even better. And while our chicken is doing its thing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some homemade chicken broth. How are we gonna do that? Using some water, we're gonna add some chicken bouillon powder, give it a good mix, and bam, we have our chicken broth. And not to mention, it tastes even better to me, in my opinion. It's a lot more flavorful. Not a little, but a lot more flavorful than the chicken broth that you get in the box. And back to the skillet. We're gonna add that compound butter that we just made. It's gonna be so delicious, oh God. What we're doing is we're introducing new flavors to this Cajun chicken, all right? We're introducing a nice garlicky flavor as well as some Italian seasoning, which has oregano and different spices in there. So our chicken is gonna be, when I say popping, it's gonna be banging. Come on, let's add all of that Cajun butter. Make sure we get all of those flavors nice and infused. And even if the butter ends up on top of the chicken, so what? It's gonna melt anyway. And yeah, let's get it, guys. Let's mix it up and combine it really well. Let's make it happen, and let's take this chicken dinner to the next level. Once we're done, we're gonna add a little bit of lemon juice to lock in a slight lemon flavor as well. Mix it all in, make sure all of our flavors are infused. Yes, what? And that chicken broth that we made, because we want to reintroduce some moisture to this chicken, we're going to add some chicken broth, and we're going to seal and lock that pan by covering it up with a lid. And we're going to lower our flame to low to medium heat, and we're going to allow the chicken to pick up the new flavors and allow the sauce to reduce just a bit. Yeah, the saucy sauce, allow it to reduce just by half. You don't have to reduce it too much. And because I don't have enough room in this pan, I'm going to take my spatula and move the chicken to the side in order to make space. And we're going to add our potatoes back to the saucy sauce. Yes, we're going to add the potatoes back to the butter sauce. And oh my goodness, we're going to pick up all of those flavors with the potatoes because we want our potatoes to be infused with the flavors as well. We're going to toss it around in there just a bit. Lubricate those potatoes really, really well. And we're going to go in with, last but not least, we're going to go in with some parsley, make it look even more beautiful. And guess what? Yep, 30 minutes or less and dinner is served. Absolutely beautiful on the presentation, and it's even better on the taste buds. Anyway, guys, as always, who am I? I'm your girl cooking with Tammy, and of course, make sure you hit that like button on your way out, subscribe button, tell all your friends and family what your girl is cooking up. Make sure you share these recipes, and I will catch you guys in another video. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.